need to spotlight, especially because of the work that he's done, is Simo Nzama. He is a public administration and management graduate, founder and chairperson of Seemorepossibilities, genius name, foundation. Obviously, it's play on words to Seymour. Love it. I'm obsessed. And he's also the visionary behind initiatives like #Coffee with Simo, Insightful Tour with Simo, and the Each One Teach One Township Rejuvenation Movement. Simo Nzama, good morning.
Greetings. Morning, good people. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
No complaint. Thank you very much for the warm welcome, and greetings to our listeners at home. Get to this.
So let's talk about Seemorepossibilities, the establishment of Seemorepossibilities. How was it born? Where was it born? Why was it born?
All right. My name is Simo, as in Simo. And then when this idea came into my mind, the name had to be tweaked a little bit from Simo to Seemore, because I'm a firm believer that we are what we see, we are what we eat, right? So I'm in a township. I'm in Claremont, to be precise, outer west of Durban, and we just felt the need that township has to be developed in a way. Like, for instance, right now we are talking about the Youth Month, which we are emulating from the 1976 youth, and the very same youth that we are talking about, or that we're going to be talking about, is what was from the township, right? So we strongly believe that township has more. It's like a mine, you understand? But we have to dig a little bit deep to find beautiful success stories, right? So the motive behind this movement, the See More, is to inspire others to see more in themselves. It's not about the founder, but it's about others to see more in themselves, so they can help others to see more in themselves. It has to go around until it reciprocates just like that. Right.
I think it's smart because essentially we're trying to teach them how to create their own wealth and their own futures, right? As opposed to us just throwing these opportunities at them. We're saying you need to see the opportunities. But I wanted to talk about the mental health and the mental well-being of our youth today. You know, where do you think it stands? And what are we not doing enough for the youth?
All right. Thank you very much for asking that particular question. I strongly believe that yes, they are there, but I sometimes feel like they are bouncing between, like, from pillar to post. You know, these kids are growing up, but we keep on telling them that there's this big animal called unemployment. You know, we keep on telling them of the negative stuff. Meanwhile, they themselves, they have all what it takes to have. They have the potential. You just threw in like I would say a beautiful word where you talk about the idea of creating. We were created by the men above, and we also have the characteristics of the men above, meaning we also need to create. So right now, we are telling the youth that you need to wait. We will create employment for you. The numbers are escalating and stuff like that. But we need to create the environment that is going to be conducive for them to create and to allow them to imagine things, to allow themselves, you know, to do a whole lot of things. You know, like we refer to them as something called Gen Z, meaning that they are so into technology and stuff like that. They need to take advantage of that, you know. There was a time where I was a bit confused by the Gen Z. In my mind, I was thinking that Z, like Z, stands for the end of whatever alphabet, or maybe the end of the world. But then I had to school myself. I realized that the Z stands for zooming in. We need to allow these kids to zoom in. Maybe let me just add on into that. I understand that it looks like it's kind of like confusing right now when you look at the environment and stuff like that. But I strongly believe that the men above had a plan to create these kids in this moment. The men above knew that if he had to create these kids around the period of Moses, probably these kids would have suffocated through the desert and that journey, that 40 years journey and stuff like that. But he said, these ones, I'm going to create them right exactly when the technology is taking another shape. Therefore, they need to sit on the driver's seat.
And what's happening in our homes? You work with a lot of youth. I'm sure there are stories that you are being made aware of. What's happening in our households?
Well, I think, we are trying, but there is a lot that is going on. Let me just take you back. Not so long ago, like in 2020, we experienced something called pandemic. There were floods. After floods in KZN and other places, we had looting. I strongly believe that my people hasn't recovered as yet. Right, we haven't dealt with the initiatives that are aimed at helping people to recover. We are still finding ourselves like in sixes and sevens, right? So how I wish that we can do more of the programs that will help people to heal so that they can be able to help the little ones, right? So in this point in time, there's a lot of confusion going around the changes, the political landscape and so forth. And us not understanding the true meaning of community, because from the family to the community, to my understanding, community is a group of people that have agreed to grow together. Then the question would be, are we growing together? Are we coexisting? Are we talking to each other? Are we creating programs that are aimed at taking, let's say, the township to another level? I will always refer back to the townships. I have so much respect for all the places like the suburbs and so forth, the rural areas, but my main focus is into the township. Township has potential, right? It is the township, the sheep at the end of the word. I for one, I refer to the sheep like they defined like in the ocean, right? The sheep is good when it's in the harbor, but that's not what it was designed for. So when you're in the township, you must always realize that you're in a space where that needs to move around, look out for the opportunities. In as much as the township was created, the way it was created, the motive behind was so not right, but we have the township right now. Let's convert it right now. Look at what happened in Dubai. They took a decision that they are converting the desert into something that is monumental. Why are we not changing our township into something monumental? So families, communities, let's work around the idea of rejuvenating our places.
And with initiatives, because I mean, you speak about community, right? And I'd like to think that initiatives like the hashtag Coffee with Simo is a way to kind of build that community, not just a community of, the young people, but a community of entrepreneurs who are like-minded, so we can partner with you to do the work that we do. Talk to me about that initiatives, because I feel like it's kind of like the step into, the community that we're trying to establish here.
How I wish that our people, like the audience, can be able to see you. I see the movement of the hands. I see the nails. I'm like, wow, this is the youth man, hey? Okay, fine. Let's cut the chase, good people. The Coffee with Simo, that initiative was so designed to, like, it's a platform that was created for the insightful conversations, right? Simply because we as people, we do not talk about like what we want to achieve, right? I'm a firm believer that we need to socialize differently. The world is changing like through the speed of the light. So now we need to talk to each other and say, hey, sister, what's on your mind? What would you like to do if you were to be given an opportunity, right? What are you struggling with in this point in time? So those are the conversations that we need to have. Like the Coffee with Simo was so designed to help, especially the graduates, because they go to school and then once they have graduated, they find themselves being part of the statistics where they can't find like jobs. And then we would help them to identify their limitless potential, just to help them to know who they are, why they were brought into this world. Conversations. We are in the times where we need to conversate more.
I'm curious about the initiative of integrating inmates or former ex-offenders into society. We call it reform, essentially, right? Prison reform work. What inspired that?
Right.
Those are usually very passion-driven projects, right? What inspired that initiative? Because I feel like that's also another way of us as a people building our communities. Because essentially the people that are stepping out of the prison world and now stepping into, real life again, they are the people that are also trying to build a community and start a brand new life. But we need to give them a chance to do that. So tell me more about that.
Right. All right. Right. In our organization, we firmly believe that we are all equal, like in the eyes of the Lord. And sometimes we add so much pressure to the convicts and stuff like that. But there are programs in the prison that are aimed at rehabilitating these people. But the problem is there is a disconnection. We do not create an environment that is aimed at welcoming them back and make them aware of what is currently happening so that they can fit into the system. We just wake up in the morning, you just see someone who's been there for quite a number of years, and then we do not have like the type of conversation that we need to have. And then these kids, these people, you would find that because of this disconnection, they will keep on doing wrong things until they go back. It's one of the same thing, because we as the communities, we are not playing the role of receiving without judging them. They are, for instance, all of us, we do make mistakes, do you understand? Day in, day out. It's just that the difference is some of them, they were like apprehended for whatever. So we need to try our utmost best to receive them, understand them, the headspace, the mental health, and see where they can fit into what is currently happening in the communities. So that movement is all about that.
And it's beautiful, the work that you are doing. Do you have any support from different organizations to make sure that the work is coming to life and it's continuing? Do you have, maybe people that you still want to partner with to make all of this possible?
All right. I would say like in 2019 and before that, we were working hand in hand with the Ethekwini municipality. They would help us here and there. But obviously there was a bit of distraction during the pandemic, and we would really like to reinforce these movements. We are hoping that the city would be able to assist us. We would really like to extend our request to the corporate companies for them to look at the township differently, not to be looked at as the consumers. Like, let me just delve a little bit deep. In South Africa, we have 525 townships, right? And the value of the township economy is about 100 billion rands, but it's measured according to the consumption. I strongly believe that we need to do more for the country to have maybe like a 5% increase into the economic growth. We need to make sure that the people from the township, they become the workforce. Look at what China does. People are working day in, day out, but look at where we are now. Excuse my language, we are more into dancing and stuff like that, but we need to create, we need to be part and parcel of the ecosystem. We need to work. Therefore, we are pleading to government, we are pleading to corporate companies, we are pleading to the municipalities that they need to pay more attention into the township. Otherwise, if we don't, it means one day we'll find ourselves skating on thin ice, because people are all over the show. So I'm pleading with people, corporate, please. Like currently, we are trying to establish something called Knowledge Economic Hub that is so designed to help people. We need to boost our IQ level. Our IQ level has been eroded by 11%, if I'm not mistaken, simply because of poverty and many more other things. Let's try our utmost best to work around the IQ level. We need companies that would say, hey guys, what do you need? We need laptops, we need 3D printers, so that we can start creating like a number of things. Like currently we are working on creating something called Simo eyewear, but you'll see it on the socials. We want to create frames, eyewear frames from the township, to understand, because we are capable. But let me hold it right there.
That sounds like a project that is going to be successful. I love the Simo play on words. It's absolutely fantastic. Where can we find you on social media? Where can the people follow you and get more information? Maybe if someone wants to partner with you, they can reach you there.
All right, fine. I'm on Facebook. It's Simo Nzama, as in SIMO. The surname is Nzama, NZAMA. On Instagram, it's Seemorepossibilities, as in SEEMORE_possibilities. And I don't mind sharing my number. My number is for the community. It's 084 636 0001. Let me repeat, 084 636 0001. And ma'am, thank you very much for the warm welcome. And I wish you all the best. In fact, I wish you nothing less than what you wish for. And also the listeners, wherever you are, good people, try your utmost best to shine the light. And there is this particular saying that drives me nuts that goes like, the candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Let's unite more, good people. Let's reignite. Let's bring back something called Ubuntu and irrespect. In as much as we are told that there's this AI and stuff like that, but humanity will never fade. Let's unite, good people.
Thank you so much, Simo Nzama, for that amazing one. And thank you for the well wishes. I think for you as well, we just pray that at every step and at every new season that you step into with your organization, that you are met with someone who's going to pour into you the same way you've poured into the community. Because I feel like you deserve that. After all the work that you've done, a lot of the time entrepreneurs don't really move with a lot of support, especially financially. You just kind of do what you can with what you have. So I hope that at every point, there's more than what you even expected.
Yeah, to the Oasis, you go forth and multiply.
Thank you. We will do exactly that. It is 7:41 Central African time. We just had a great conversation with Simo Nzama coming through there, who is the founder of Seemorepossibilities, which is a lovely organization doing incredible work within the townships, and also quite some interesting stats that I got there. 524, if I'm not mistaken, or just over 500 townships with 100 billion rand type of economy. So if maybe you're opening a business now, wouldn't you want to kind of align your pricing to township-based costings, and also hiring within there? So I'm thinking about, like, if you want to open like a supermarket, you'd want to make sure that you price it accordingly, but also make sure that the people that work there are also from that specific township. Amazing stuff. 7:42 Central African time. Let's enjoy some music.
Darubini ya Afrika.